Hi, this is Gina. I've been watching other people put videos on YouTube of their colouring stash, their colouring books and their pencils and so on. And I've had so much pleasure looking at it. And I thought, well, I can do that. I've got a fair bit to show off too. So here we go. My first attempt at colouring, adult colouring style, was from these Dover books. These particular ones are printed on parchment to give the impression of stained glass windows, and that was one of my first efforts. And you can see when you hold it up to the light, it just gives a beautiful impression. So you can use watercolour, pencil, marker pens, anything. The brighter the better, really. So that's one of the books I bought. Next one, the Art and Crafts, which is stained glass again, but slightly different designs. As you can see, the classic Art Deco look. Oh, sorry, no, this is the Art Deco look. This is the third book I bought. I haven't done many of these, but the ones I have, I've really enjoyed doing, and you've got to put a bit of thought into the colour to make it worthwhile. But wonderful books. These are also Dover books, Japanese prints colouring book. Now these ones, if you're into Japanese stuff, which I am, I just love anything in the Japanese lifestyle, the culture, so I really enjoy it, but it's probably a bit foreign to a lot of people looking at it thinking, oh, what do they see in that? But I've had fun colouring in this. This is another one, Japanese designs. This is more your fans and your circles and your flowers and so on, which is a much prettier version of Japanese art. And this one is Japanese kimonos. And again, the kimono style that's so popular with Japanese art. It's very classic. This last Japanese book is Floating World. Now this is a beautiful book, I really love it. It's the photos in it. Each sketch has the original artwork, so you can base your colouring in on the original artwork if you want to, or just use your own colours. That's an absolutely lovely book, and I've done one, which was this one. That was the original, and that's my version, so I really enjoyed doing that. Was done with colour pencil and pastel for the background. I did another one, and I'm not as happy as with this one. That's the original, and that's what I did, and the colour is just wrong. I just used completely the wrong colour pencils. I needed to use colour pencils with a more intense, maybe Prismacolor or something like that. So obviously I can't redo this, but I know which ones I used, and I won't use them again in this particular book. I'll use other colours, and I might even try watercolour for some of these, because I mean the original pictures were done in watercolour. This is a book that I picked up at the Eltham Post Office quite a while ago, and the photos, again, it's like the Japanese one. Each sketch has the original photo or the original drawing beside it. John Gould, who was the Australian first person to come from England and draw Australian birds, or his wife did actually, Elizabeth Gould. So the prints are the original prints of John Gould's or Elizabeth Gould's work, and then they've got the sketches beside, so you can either use the same colours or you can use your own colours. I've done one, and because Ken has scarlet-chested parrots in his aviaries, I try to get the colours to be as real as I could, rather than what John Gould, because they really don't look like scarlet-chested parrots at all. But mine are pretty leery, a bit too wild, a bit too bright. Anyway, you live and learn, and I'm sure I'll go do better as I go along. Then I have Doodle Design. I've got two of these books, Doodle Design, and they're very simple. I really like them. They're almost like children's colouring books in their simplicity, and not like the detail with Johanna Basford and others for the adult colouring books. But they're fun to colour in. I've done a bit here. In there. Oops. There, very muted, very subtle. That one's a bit deeper. So I've enjoyed doing that. And this one's Christmas, Doodle Designs for Christmas. And again, I've done a few of those. It's hard to do snow, isn't it? And I think I'll use, again, different colour pencils as I go along, because, you know, some colour pencils just don't have it. Just don't do what you want them to do. This is another Christmas one. This is good. This is about, it's, you colour in, how can I explain? It's hard to explain. You colour in the design and then you cut it out, you press it out, might be able to see where you actually press it out. It's like light cardboard. And you make a little box. So there's the instructions on how to do it. And you come up with a little box and you can put soap or lollies in it. It makes a great Christmas gift, and it's personalised because you put your name in there. And whoever gets it can either keep it or, use it for something else. But it's a terrific little book. I think I've done a couple of boxes out of it. I should do more really, because there's a lot to go. Okay, then we come to Joanna Basford, and I've got a few of her books. I've got Lost Ocean. Now, this is the standard size of the book. This is a little miniature, and I found this in a bookshop, and I didn't have the full-size Lost Ocean book, and I thought, well, I'll get the mini version. So I haven't coloured anything in there. Oh, yes, I have. Beg your pardon. I have. I've forgotten about that. But there's a lot of things in there that I'm really looking forward to colouring, but I look forward to colouring all her books. They're beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I've got I forget where I got this too. This was her 2020, the colouring planner. I've done quite a bit in that too. Let me see. Because last year, when we were all locked down with COVID, I got stuck into this book and did quite a bit. Quite a bit to go too, of course, but yeah, so. Yeah. What I usually do is write down the pencil or what I use, the medium, whether I use Prismacolor or Derwent or what do you call them? Felt tip pens, which I've done that one, which is pretty leery. And that one's felt tip pens. I forget what that one was. That was Spectrum Noir pencils. That came out all right. Now, Secret Garden. We all know Secret Garden. That was my very first adult colouring book after the Dover ones, I mean. My girlfriend Sharon bought me this as a surprise one day when she was working in a bookshop. And I've done quite a bit in that. Let's see. That one I was learning about blending and using the different techniques to make the flowers really jump out, which I'm very happy with that. Girlfriend of mine, Shirley, who's a great colouring person too, she buys stickers and she puts them in the books to add to the effect, and I think that's a great idea. So I bought some stickers too, and I've used them in a lot of these. I put little butterflies in there, extra butterflies and birds. Joanna says in her books to fill in the spaces, so I've done that there. I've put more butterflies. I've put a whole lot of in this one, a whole lot of little metallic sticker plants. Probably overdone it, but never mind. It looks pretty, doesn't it? I think it'll look nicer once I've coloured it in. Okay, I've started colouring in the door, the Secret Garden door. And I've done owl and leaves. Now this one I was a bit annoyed with myself because I started off in one green and I changed the green, and I don't think I can go over that. Well, I've gone over it a few times and really messed it up, but apart from that, I was pretty pleased with it. Here we are. See? More flowers. That's in Prismacolor. I haven't quite finished that one yet either. That one, yep, just about finished, I think. That one, yeah. So, yeah, very, very happy with that book. Love it. Beautiful. All her books are gorgeous. I've got the latest one, Worlds of Wonder, and I think I've done, let me see, I think I've done one in this. So I've done, almost finished that one. But I want to do a dark blue background and put the stars in gold to really give it a nighttime effect. I'm not quite sure. I might do that in watercolour, or possibly do an ink pencils where you can sort of colour it in and give it a wash over to intensify it. Got lots of good ideas. Another one. Oh yeah, that one. I bought some not Faber-Castell, pencils at the supermarket, and they're all pastel shades, and I was dying to try them out. So I thought that was the ideal opportunity, and I think they came out really well. Millie Marotta is another one that I really love, along the same way as Joanna Basford, with a lot of detail in her drawings. So that was a bit of a, that one's, I'm quite pleased with the frog. And another one, a bit leery, that was done with colour brush markers. And that one I think it was done with pencil, no, with watercolour, I'm not quite sure. I'll put the tissue paper in to stop them smudging if they're you know, really brightly coloured like this one is. Pretty leery too, that was done in marker pens. And another owl, that was done with Staedtler pencils and gel pens, tidied up. Those, that was watercolour, that's pencil. So yeah, done a few of that. Another Millie Marotta one I've got is Animal Kingdom postcards and little versions of her, you know, her big books. So a lot of fun in there too. I've done a few of these postcards. Oops. Very happy with those. I'll use them in a postcard swap I'm involved in. Be fun to send away. Oh, and that one too, yeah. And Wildscapes. Now Stephanie Holm, I don't know anything about her. She's not one of the more well-known artists that I know of, but what she's done is using Australian birds and animals and wildlife and stuff, and it's really looking forward. I think might have done one or two in this, but that was a gift from a girlfriend early on in the piece, my colouring times when she knew I was into that sort of thing. Oh yeah, I've done a frog. So, and that was done Spectrum Noir pencils. Secret Paris. Can't remember where I got this. I think it was a book sale somewhere. And that's got some nice pictures in it too. Not particularly Parisian, I don't think, but anyway, just different. Clothing, architecture, sweets, more clothing, fruits, cups and saucers and glasses. Interesting stuff. I think I might have done, let's see, done a few of the fruit, strawberries and so on. What else have I done? I started to do that, and then I've done a scene and some clothes. Yeah, clothes are fun, and bras, that was interesting. Swimsuit, bikinis, yeah. And started to do another scene there. This book, I think it's another one Sharon gave me. I haven't done anything yet, but she did tell me it's a beautiful book to colour in. I think she's actually coloured quite a bit of it herself, because I've seen what she's done. It's all you know, flowers and garden. A lot of detail, but very, very pretty once it's finished, no doubt. Oh yeah, here we are. I have done a bit. Again, using Spectrum Noir pencils. Here's a couple of some other small ones. This one, Animal Kingdom, Peace in Your Pocket. Isn't that cute? The little book of colouring. And I've done quite a bit in this because sometimes I've taken it with me when I've gone somewhere with a little folder full of coloured pencils, and I'm able to sit somewhere and just do a bit of relaxing colouring in while I'm waiting in a hospital waiting room, something somewhere. It's very like Millie Marotta, but I don't think it is hers. Here we are. Rabbits, giraffes, what else? Fish, butterflies, a bit Larry, Prismacolor. That was Prismacolor, yeah. And this one, Art of Mandala. Again, mandala is something that's not really my thing, but it is a great way to practice working out your colours, seeing what blends with what. This one I'll make a note quite often of what I've used. So Spectrum Noir pencils overlaid with felt tip markers, and I burnished them with Spectrum Noir pencils again. So there's quite a lot of mixing around with that one. There's another one. Tree. Let's see what else. That one, another one. Just trying to keep to the colour palette with blues and purples, with a spark of yellow to brighten it up. That was with gel pens. I haven't finished that yet. Wow. I suppose I could do a bit more. And that one I tried using one pencil in different pressures. So heavy pressure for the darker, medium pressure, and then very light pressure for the light pink. And then I burnished the whole thing with a very pale lemon, just over the whole lot, and then just burnished it, rubbed it in. So I think that came out well. I started doing that. Again, keeping my palette to a limited number of colours. Now this is interesting, colour by number, and I saw that in the newsagent a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, I haven't done colour by number since I was a kid. I've got to have this. And there's a few of them out like this now. And similar thing where, yeah, they have the colours along here with the yellows in 1, oranges 2, reds 3, light greens 3, and so on. So I stuck to their colour palette, and that's what came up, and I was really happy with that. Another one I didn't stick to their colour palette. I did something I saw online, which I thought was really interesting. You had the mandala, and you just use one colour, and you just colour the alternate bits so that it, it creates a contrast. And so you've got the same pattern, but I've coloured in one part there and left that bit white on the same. Do you know what I mean? You know, you can see what I've done anyway. And I've made a mistake there. I was colouring in a way, and then I realised I've done coloured 2 in the middle instead of the outside. So, and I've got to rub those out and do something else. But yeah, so that was fun. So you don't have to do what they say, but it's guidelines. Now this book is another beautiful book, Simpler Times colouring book. Jim Shaw is actually a patchwork designer and artist. I think Amish patterns and so on, and it's all sort of that kind of patchworky artist design. Probably a bit hard to tell here at the camera, but right up to the camera. And he does give examples of each picture of the original colours, so you can go buy the original colours if you want to, or use your own colours. So I've done 2. Done that one, which I went by his colours, and that was watercolour, and that one I think was that was colour pencil. Yeah, so they're really pretty. Yep. Then we've got again, I think somebody might have given me this, knowing I love owls, so they bought me this. And it's probably really quite sweet. You've got their drawing there to colour, and then on the other side you've got sayings and little colour images. May your wings be strong, may they carry you above the clouds, and so on, things like that. And then there's something there where you can write your own words. This one also, they've got suggested colours, and they suggest all the way through of how you can colour it, which I think is really great. I haven't done any of this yet, but again, I'm looking forward to it. Oh goodness, I don't think I'll ever get everything done. And then in the front they've got the images all coloured in, so you can go by they're pretty bright. I don't know that I would use them all, because I love bright colours, and that's very well done, but I don't know. I have to think about that. And there's hints on how to do stuff too, with laying and blending. What's your style? So, yeah, interesting. And there's another one. This has an owl on the front, but it's not owls, all owls. It's just mandalas. Again, examples at the back of the colour schemes you can use. This is a bit more simple, which is good for me. And then again, as I say, you can have go by their colour schemes. And these aren't as leery as the other one. I think I could probably quite happily go along with their colour schemes when I'm colouring this book in. Again, tips, media, good to do. Country style colours in the garden. I think somebody gave me this. It's just all sort of garden type stuff, which is lovely, which is nice. I think I'll enjoy colouring that one in too. I don't think I've done anything in that one yet. It's funny, isn't it? Every colouring book you pick up, you think, oh, I don't want to start colouring that, and you pick up the next one. Now this one is different. My girlfriend Shirley bought me this, If the Cat Fits. In the back it came with a whole bunch of stickers with cats and vases of flowers and scratching posts and anything to do with cats. And what you do, you use the stickers to embellish the drawings, the paintings. So it's a colouring book, but a lot of it is already colour, like that's a photo, I suppose, of a bookcase. And then you put the cats where you want them. Well, I put a cat on the piano stool and a cat and a cushion on the floor. This one I've coloured in that bit. I've put the cat with a hat on, like a circus. This one that was all part of it. The only bit you need to colour in is the top bit. The rest of it is done like a photograph, and there's a pond there, so there was a sticker of a goldfish and a sticker of the cat, so I put looking like the cat looking at the goldfish jumping out of the pool. And this one, a picnic basket with a cat. So all good fun. This one had a lot of colouring in to be done there. That wasn't a sticker, but all those cats, they were stickers sitting in there. And the same with that. There's not much to colour in there. In fact, you could probably go through the whole book and not even bother colouring. But I've started to colour in some of it. So, but it was just a fun book. It'd be a great one for kids to do, putting their cats. And you can actually relocate. You can peel off the sticks and put them somewhere else if you want to. But I'm not going to do that. I've moved them around already a bit. So, oh, that was fun. A lot of good fun in that one. Talking of cats, I've got other cat books. Cat Designs colouring art. This one's just all different cats. I've coloured bits and pieces in this one, just trying it out. Grey cat, ginger cat, grass, so on. A few stripes on that one. Nearly finished that one. I've got a few more flowers to do. I think, actually, looking at that one, I think I should really go over that again and make that cat brighter, because it looks a bit dull at the moment, doesn't it? This is another one. Creative Haven has some beautiful colouring books. Creative Cats. Again, you've got examples where you can use the colours. Slightly different technique to the other one. Interesting how different artists have different techniques of what they draw, isn't it? Another Creative Haven. Naturescapes. Again, examples of colours that you can use. I really like that because I'm not terribly imaginative with the colours. I love colouring in, but when it comes to using my imagination, I'm not terribly good, and I rely on Pinterest a lot. And Joanna Badsford's Colouring Gallery, and other colouring galleries on YouTube where they show what other people have done, and I'm quite happy to copy their colours because they just look so beautiful. But of course a lot of these books don't have colouring galleries, so you have to use your own imagination. This one's interesting, Fabulous Fashions of the 1950s. Well, I grew up in the 50s, so I remember a lot of these fashions, so it's a fun thing to... I mean, I never got dressed up like that, of course, but that's the one that I've coloured in. And that one, yeah, colouring in people like that's a bit of a challenge. Yeah, that's a lovely book. Yeah, fun colour that one in. And this is another one, Marie Claire colour fashioning. I don't know where this came from. I think it was possible. It's got $2 on it, so maybe I did buy it somewhere. But Marie Claire, of course, is a magazine, and maybe they just put this out as an extra thing to cash in on the colouring in trend. But, you know, it's a bit like the other Parisian one I've got. It's all clothing, articles of clothing and stuff, with a few other things. Handbags. Oh, okay. Gee, did I do that? I don't remember that. Oh, yes, I did. There's the colours up there. Okay. Then Woman's Weekly have put out a few colouring books too. These are good because they've got some of their original covers in. So if you want to go again by the colours that they've used, you use those, or you can do your own thing. A lot of different styles there. I suspect they've had different artists doing things for their colouring book because some of the techniques are quite different. Seahorse. And one of the covers, which I did, coloured in according to the The original, that one. Oh, mine's not quite as dark. Anyway, so. And this is the other one, the Woman's Weekly colouring book. I don't think I've coloured anything in that one. Oh, yes I have, yep. Wow. What have I used there? Spectrum Noir and Faber-Castell soft pastels to do the background. Oh, I've done that one too, yep. Spectrum Noir again, the pastels background. The Art of Suns Out colouring book. Don't know where this came from either. Maybe somebody gave it to me. I've done a bit in that one. Yeah, simple. That one, watercolour, pencil. That one, pencil. Yeah. Oh, I wonder I haven't finished. Zen Colouring, Natural Wonders. Well, let's see this one now. Oh yeah, I've done a bit of this too. Leaves and flowers and so on. Again, they give a few colouring examples of what you can do. And finally, in my stash, I have instruction books. Colouring workshop. I bought these online. I feel like I'm certainly not the world's best colourist. I'm not as good as not as good as most of the people you see on the internet. So I thought, how can I improve myself without just copying? Well, this is a fantastic book. Step guide to creating artistic effects, and it gives you different effects and how to achieve them. It goes through the original book goes through the different ways you can colour in and the different things you can use, whether it's watercolour, pencil, gel pen, marker pen and so on. So the first exercise was this one, basic techniques using colour pencils. So this one used Prismacolor pencils, and the techniques was scumbling and hatching. So that's the type of technique you use with the colour pencil. So I followed all the instructions, and that was my result, and I'm very, very happy with those. They were great. I quite often do this if I'm not going to do anything else with the book. I mean, I'm not going to do it with my colouring books anyway. I'm not going to frame the pictures or do anything else. But the pencils I use, I just do a little swatch down the side. So if I want to do something similar later on, I know which colours I've used. And the next one was this burnishing, which is where you colour it in and you get something very pale lemon or even a white pencil, and you go over the whole thing, and it brings up sort of a shine to the picture. So that was my example there. So again, very happy with that. So it's a great book. I mean, there's a lot. These are the rest of the exercise. Oh, damn it. The rest of the exercises with the different techniques. So I want to spend more time on this book, so eventually when I come back to my colouring books, I'm hoping they'll be better than what I've done in the past. This is another one, New Guide to Colouring. And this is pretty much just another colouring book. But they do have placing colour, planning your work, go wild, how to use a lot of different colours, layering, experimentation, blending, shading with lines, lots and lots of information. Really good. I mean, things like lemons and oranges, you know, it's just a yellow or an orange, but no, there's more to it than that. There's light and there's shade, and it tells you what to use to create the best effect. Patterning tips and ideas. Yep, lovely book. And finally, creative colouring techniques, inspiration to take your colouring to the next level. Again, pretty much just a colouring book, but alongside that they've got lots of techniques and ways to do things. So yeah, so there you are, that's my stash. I hope you enjoyed that. I'll put another video on YouTube eventually when I get all my colouring pencils and art supplies out, because that's another thing some of the people have been doing on YouTube, putting all their colouring pencils stuff. I've been quite envious. Oh, look at all those, and look at my cupboard and think, well, I can compete with that. I've got a fair amount myself. Bye for now.